One of the reasons some of us have difficulty in Kavana Tefillah is that since we were little kids, we daven and daven, and not always are our prayers fulfilled. And almost each and every one of us knows various occasions in which we daven from the depths of our heart to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for refuahs, for family members or loved ones or people that we know very well. And sometimes those tefillahs weren't fulfilled. And when throughout the years you daven many times and people don't see that their prayers were answered, I think it causes a big chulsha in Kavonas Tefillah. But what we have to know is that no tefillah goes unheard. No tefillah even goes unanswered. The Baal Shem Tov explains why Chazal relate to tefillah as dvorim o'imdim berumen shel olam v'bnei Yodam mezalzelim behem. So the Baal Shem Tov actually said that one of the reasons people are sometimes mezalzel in tefillah is because it isn't obvious. We don't see that our prayers are answered. But the Baal Shem Tov said tefillah is described by Chazal as dvorim o'imdim berumen shel olam. Every prayer goes up l'rumay shel olam. Every tefillah goes to the Kisei HaKavod. But sometimes HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers our prayers in ways we might never understand or appreciate. A person might daven for wealth, and instead of wealth he gets health. Sometimes a person davens for himself, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu bestows chasadim upon his children. The same idea is expressed very strongly by the Stipler. The Stipler said every tefillah is answered. If not for a person, then for his family members, for his children. Sometimes it's not for this Gilgal, it's in another Gilgal. A person prays for one thing and HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives him something else. We may never know in what way HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers our prayers. But we do have to know that every prayer is dvorim o'imdim berumen shel olam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu listens to our prayers, to our tefillahs, and every tefillah has an effect. The most striking example, I think, would be Moshe Rabbeinu. V'oschanan el Hashem, Moshe Rabbeinu davened Tov Kuf Tezvov tefillahs, 515 tefillahs. And his only bakosha was to go into Eretz Yisrael. And that tefillah, that bakosha was not fulfilled. What happened to those tefillahs? Is it reasonable? Is it possible that those 515 tefillahs of the greatest Yid, the greatest person, nobody reached the heights of Moshe Rabbeinu? That is very clear in Chazal and the Rambam. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu's most beloved child, the greatest Jew ever, davened 515 tefillahs. And was that all in vain? Did those tefillahs sink into oblivion? That's totally impossible. If we do some interesting arithmetic, Moshe Rabbeinu, Olo Besara Hashemaymo, he left this world, Beis Alofim Tov Peiches Lebrias Oilam, 2,488 years Lebrias Oilam. The world in its present form, according to Chazal, will exist 6,093 years. I am fully aware that Chazal say in 3 places, Shit Alfin Shnin Hava Alma. That's in Avodah Zorah Daf Tes, in Sanhedrin, and Rosh Hashanah. But a more precise number is in the Piyutim of the Kaliyah and in Medrash Oisias de Rebbe Akiva. In these sources we learn that the world in its present form will exist Shit Alfin Tzadik Gimel Shonim, 6,093 years. So if we subtract from 6,093, 2,488, we are left with 3,603 years. And that is exactly Tov Kuf Tezvov Shmitin, 7 times 515. So my feeling is that Kodesh Baruch Hu took those beautiful tefillahs, those wonderful tefillahs, And instead of answering Moshe Rabbeinu's prayers that he should go into Eretz Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took those tefillahs to ensure that we, Sheiras HaPleita, Klal Yisrael, the children of Moshe Rabbeinu, that we could make it to the finishing line, that we should be able to get there at the end of days, after those 6,093 years of Chas v'Sholom. Moshiach won't come before that. So we could never know whether HaKadosh Baruch Hu related this to Moshe Rabbeinu. But what we do know, and that's quite clear, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu would tell Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe, do you insist on going into Eretz Yisrael? Or are you willing to give away your tefillahs to Klal Yisrael? Moshe Rabbeinu would say, I'm staying right here. Please take these 515 tefillahs and give them to my children, give them to Klal Yisrael. So Miyoi Moisa Shel Moshe Rabbeinu, till the end of days of Mashiach won't come before that, is 3,605 years, which is precisely 515 tefillahs. Tefillah has the gematria of 515. Tov, Pei, Lamed, Hei. Tefillah is the gematria of 515, obviously indicating those 515 most precious of tefillahs. Those tefillahs, that's my feeling. Kodesh Baruch Hu didn't answer Moshe Rabbeinu in the way he asked or expected, but in a different way. Those 515 tefillahs were given to Klal Yisrael to enhance and to ensure that they'll be able to exist as a people, as Yidden, for the remainder of 515 Shmitim. So we have to learn that no tefillah goes unanswered. Kodesh Baruch Hu hears all our tefillahs, they're all precious, and they all reach the heights of Kisei HaKavod. So we have to be mechaven in our tefillahs. That is one of the most basic things in Yiddishkeit, is Kavana Tefillah. Because that is the most intimate connection, the most intimate relationship a Yid could possibly have with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. So this is something we have to work on, Kavana Tefillah, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu should help. The Kodesh Baruch Hu should always listen to all our prayers, and all our prayers to reach the Kisei HaKavod, and Ki atu shomea tefillas kol peh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should answer our prayers, and we should be zoicha bekorov to Yeshuas Yisrael and Bias HaMoshiach b'meiru v'ilmeinu amen.